In the 1990s, the music industry was printing money. CDs had replaced cassettes, and buying music meant heading to a store like Tower Records or Sam Goody and paying nearly $20 for a plastic disc. You didn't buy individual songs back then. You bought full-length albums, often for just one or two hits. Big record labels controlled what got made, what got promoted, and who got famous. MTV was king. Radio was tightly curated. If you were an artist, getting a record deal was the dream. If you were a listener, your choices were limited by what was on the shelves. But in the background, a technological shift was taking place. And almost no one in the music business saw it coming.
The most widely used chat program is something called the Internet Relay Chat, or IRC.
Before Napster, music piracy had already long existed. It was just clunky. People traded songs on programs like Internet Relay Chat. If you were lucky, you could grab a 3-megabyte song file after hours of downloading. The game changer in music sharing was the creation of the MP3 format.
That's iPod. I happen to have one right here in my pocket, matter of fact. There it is, right there. This amazing little device holds 1,000 songs, and it goes right in my pocket.
Small file sizes with decent sound quality. With a dial-up connection and patience, you could finally swap real music over the web in a reasonable amount of time. This lowered the barrier to entry for music sharing greatly. Software like Winamp made playback easy. Burning your own mix CDs became a cultural phenomenon. Peer-to-peer sharing hadn't gone mainstream yet, but the building blocks were being created at a rapid pace before everyone's eyes. Enter Napster.
We think that when music transitions to digital distribution, people will pay to receive music to their cell phones or their portable devices, to however music is pumped or piped into the home digitally, that will be monetized.
Sean Fanning was just 18, a college freshman with a laptop and an idea. In his dorm room at Northeastern University, he started coding a program that would make music sharing faster, easier, and searchable. He called it Napster after his childhood nickname. Sean Parker, a fellow teen prodigy and hacker from Virginia, had already made a name for himself exploring early internet networks and security systems. He came across Fanning's work in an online chat room, reached out, and the two hit it off immediately.
People are willing to pay for it now. Users are willing to pay for convenience, and they're willing to pay to have music piped into their home, to their stereo.
While Fanning focused on code, Parker helped shape the launch. In June 1999, they released the first version of Napster. Within days, college students were passing it around like wildfire. Napster wasn't the first file-sharing tool, but it was the first that worked this well. It was easy, fast, and best of all, it was free. By late 1999, Napster had exploded. From campus dorms to corporate offices, people were ditching CDs for downloadable tracks. In less than a year, Napster had over 20 million users. At first, the labels didn't know what to make of it. Some saw it as a phase, just another internet fad. But as CD sales dipped and internet usage spiked, panic started to set in. In early 2000, Metallica learned that an unreleased track, I Disappear, was circulating on Napster. Worse, it was being played on radio stations. Lars Ulrich, a member of the band, was furious. Metallica filed a lawsuit against Napster and its users.
In essence, it's about control. It's really about controlling what you own. We want to be the ones that control the use of those on the internet. That's it in essence. Which is becoming increasingly important to us, is to try and get this debate out into the public forum, to try and make people understand what's at stake here and what the ramifications are.
Ulrich later testified before Congress, "We take our craft, whether it's music, movies, writing, seriously. It's not about the money, it's about control."
Earlier this year, while completing work on a song for the movie Mission Impossible 2, we were startled to hear reports that 5 or 6 versions of our work in progress were already being played on some US radio stations. We traced the source of this leak to a corporation called Napster.
The Recording Industry Association of America, or the RIAA, came down hard, arguing Napster enabled mass copyright infringement. Napster's defense in court was they weren't actually hosting any files, just connecting users. But the courts saw it differently. Napster became a cultural battleground. In the eyes of millions of users, it was a revolution. a way to fight back against greedy labels and overpriced CDs. But to the music industry, it was organized theft.
In tonight's Moneyline Focus, Napster under siege. The website, which allows users to share digital music files, has suffered a major defeat in its battle with the record industry. A California judge has made 2 preliminary rulings against Napster, which the industry says allows people to swap songs illegally.
In July 2000, a federal judge ruled that Napster was facilitating copyright violations. The company was ordered to prevent illegal file sharing, an impossible task given the way its system worked. The writing was on the wall, and by July 2001, Napster shut down. Bankruptcy followed soon after. Its founders were out, its servers went quiet. But the idea had already escaped into the wild. Napster was gone, but its model lived on. In more decentralized, more anonymous, and harder-to-kill platforms. LimeWire, Kazaa, BearShare, and BitTorrent. These platforms learned from Napster's downfall. They avoided central servers. They hid users' identities. They made enforcement nearly impossible. Music piracy reached its peak in the mid-2000s. Entire discographies were available at the click of a button. Labels continued to fight back, but they were losing the war. Ironically, the harder they pushed, the more users slipped away from legal channels. The tide didn't turn until the industry changed its approach. Instead of fighting piracy with lawsuits, they started offering legal alternatives. iTunes made songs cheap and legal. Spotify made them free with ads. Sean Parker became an early investor in Spotify. In a way, the same guy who helped break the industry was now helping reshape it. Sean Fanning would go on to found and work on several other startups. Napster, the brand, was eventually bought, rebranded, and revived.
Napster is being sold. The 3D tech company Infinite Reality has bought it for $207 million. It tells CNBC it will use Napster to market things like listening parties and let musicians sell merchandise in the metaverse.
Napster didn't invent digital music sharing, but it made it real. It forced a bloated, slow-moving industry to modernize and innovate. It helped launch conversations about fair use, copyright, streaming royalties, and artist compensation, debates that still rage today. Most importantly, it marked a generational shift, from ownership to access, from physical shelves to infinite playlists. As Lars Ulrich once said, years later, we were on the wrong side of history. Napster didn't kill music. It helped change how we listen to it forever.
But, the technology was probably the most powerful piece for me, creating something that lots of people end up using. I mean, that was definitely the major piece that excited me.
You're talking about revolutionizing the way we use computers and how we use the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
Revolutionizing.
No, absolutely. I mean,
And we're just beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you just started this 2 years ago.
Right.